You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.CFRN.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders to actually trade for a living. That's www.CFRN.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 31st day of December 2019. Almost got another year behind us and a big one up ahead. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you can't see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On the days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, point any internet-connected browser to CFRN.net/live, and there you will find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds, brought to you by the good folks at YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. All right, let's go to the numbers from around the world. These are the cash markets. Let's see where we stand on this final day of trading, 2019. In the U.S. markets, currently the Dow down 58 points, NASDAQ down 3, S&P 500 down 5, Russell 2000 positive by 6. In the commodity basket, crude oil unchanged on the session, gold up $6.10, trading 1524.70 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei down 181, Shanghai posted a gain of 10, Hang Seng lost 129. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 44, DAX down 88, CAC down 4. That gives us a mixed day in Asia, green day or a red day in the UK. So far it's a mixed day here in the US of A as the Russell struggles to hang on to positive territory. Let's go to Michael and get a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. Michael, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, it's all yours.
I am ready. Okay, here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, as Dwayne said, is the 31st day of December, 2019. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net, and over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial apply.cfrn.net, or you can click on any one of these links and they will all bring you to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Hit register now. Once you hit register now, you'll be sent a confirmation link. Now, you must click on that confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click on the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to click on that confirmation link. So today we had some pretty good activity today. Let's go back over here and here to the spreadsheet. All right. Yeah, we had almost our best day of the month today. And we had some pretty good activity. I'll look at that in a minute now. Today is, as I said, is the 31st day of December 2019. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you could read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today we made 7 ticks in the euro, 30 ticks in crude, 2 ticks in gold, and we lost 8 ticks on the ES. That put us at plus 263.75 on the morning session. Today it took 48 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up 157.5. And we took a total of 11 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're up 1,563. That's how we're going to end the year. Up 1,563. That's over 20 days. And that was our slowest month in years. We needed like $100 more to make it not the slowest month in years. But on the year now, we're up 35,398. That's over 236 days, averaging $149.99 per day this year. Okay, that's two hours per day with 1 contract. Okay. Now, we missed a few things here on gold this morning. Right at the beginning, I was a couple minutes late. And we missed that beautiful trade right there, that beautiful trade right there. Then we got to break even here. Now, we missed that long right there, that long there, that long there, that long there. Then we finally picked up a tick here. And I don't have this in my... Oh. Hang on. Let me just go and look and see what we ended up with on gold. Because I didn't put that in the spreadsheet. Good care. Okay. Hang on a sec. I'm still working it out. Yeah, where did we go short here? 25.1. Picked up. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. this was gold, and I added it to the crude. Okay, so on gold, it doesn't really matter because it's still $10 a tick. But on the gold right here, we picked up 15 ticks, and then it just went flat after that. Okay, and on the euro, we started out right here. We picked up 6 ticks right there. Missed a long trade right there. That would have been a break even. And we picked up 1 tick right there to put us at plus 7 on the morning session. Okay. During the break, yeah, that was a short right there. Right there. That wasn't actually even during the break. It was one that I missed this morning, right there. During the break, there was really nothing that you really want to do with the euro. Okay, now crude. Let's see. We started out right over here with crude. We picked up 12 ticks there. Missed that trade. Missed that trade. We picked up 1 tick there to put us at plus 13. 1 tick there to put us at plus 14. And 1 more tick there to put us at plus 15. Okay. Now during the break, there was a long opportunity right here. Okay. That would have been the close above this trend line right here. Would have been the close above that trend line. And that was it during the break. We put a new high on the day, 61.88. Now my number for the week was 61.70. Now, when we were down here a whole buck away from 61.70, it was time to start looking at call options. Okay. So just keep an eye on that. 61.70 is where it's going to normalize. All right, on the ES, we only did this 1 trade right here. We stopped out. It eventually did what it should have done, and the green line got down into the cycle. We did put in a lower swing. We missed this continuation trade right here off the BVC. And then it did nothing during the break. Did not do a thing. And that was it. That was our morning session. So we had some pretty good activity. And, you know, we had pretty good results from it all. Sadly, I stopped out on that 1 ES trade, or I would have had probably our highest day this month. Yeah, it would have been our best day this month. Anyway, today's the 31st day of December, 2019. And if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today we made 7 ticks on the euro. We didn't actually make 30 ticks on crude. We made 15 ticks on crude. And 17 ticks on gold. The result is the same. 263.75. And that was the morning session. We lost $100 on the ES. We lost 8 ticks there. But we ended up with plus 263.75. Today it took 48 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up 157.5. And we took a total of 11 trades. So we're going to end the month and the year. The month we're going to end at $1,563. That's over 20 days. And the year we're going to end at $35,398. That's over 236 days. Now that is 1 contract, 2 hours per day. Now, if you were adding 1 contract per month, you know, if you earned your way up to 1 contract per month and did everything exactly the same as I did, you would currently be at $241,980. Again, that's just 2 hours per day. And I'm totally distracted and I miss half the trades. So you got to take it all into perspective. All right, now if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. In the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Click on that, and you'll be brought to this page, eminitrainingschool.com. And on this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. And you click on register now. Once you click register now, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. All right. Okay, let me just open up the question box. No questions? Good. Okay, so with that, we can pass it back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Recap of the recap.
Today it took 48 minutes and 3 trades to get to 157.50.
That's good bingo.
It was. We had some good activity this morning.
Alrighty. Guys, if you want to grab a screenshot of last night's Concierge Trade Alerts, here they are. S&P, Dow, Russell, Crude, NQ, bonds, gold, soybeans. Same markets for years. And let's go to a chart. Here's the S&P daily. Okay, we talked about a big picture opportunity last night. We discussed this in the Telegram channel. I posted this chart for everyone to see. This could be the beginning of the unraveling that we've been expecting. Entry 32.24. We hit that initial target. Got another target down at 31.85. Another target down at 31.64. Not to say that the market's going to stop there, but that looks to be a very likely place for it to end up. So let's take a look at these Concierge Trade Alerts one by one. On the S&P last night, we said to consider being short 32.16, and that's right here. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So from 32.16, we put in a swing low down at 32.13. It's a 3-point move. Price got back above the trigger, and now it's trying to give us another good trigger to the downside. These are last week's weekly trading zones, and there's 32.10/11 below us. This week, our lowest weekly trading zone on the S&P is 32.01/32.02. When we come back on Thursday after the holiday and the day off tomorrow, I'll have all these adjusted to match up with this week's zones. Partners and passport holders get the weekly trading zones every Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern, and then I typically share them with you, the audience, every Thursday. And as you can see, even though these are last week's zones, what has price done? It's gone from zone to zone to zone, back to the zone, down to the zone, and now it's still trying to get to the zone below at 32.10/11. On the Dow, last night's alert said to consider being short 28,395. It's going to be right here. Hey guys, I'm going to have to put you on hold for a second. Hang on. All right, 28,395. It's right there. So you can see what happened. We triggered, we put in a swing low down at 28,341. Back above the trigger where price ran into resistance at the BBC and the WTZ. That's exactly what we anticipate, which sent us back down for a second trigger. Swing low on that trigger, 28,353. Back above the trigger. And now we're working on the third trigger right here, right now. Now the Russell is the one that wants to swim against the current today. On the Russell, last night, we said to consider being short below 1666. And we did trigger. And we put in a swing low at 1660 and change. We'll call it 1661. That's 5 points at $50 a point, $250 per contract traded. But you'll notice as the Russell has attempted to swim upstream against the current of the other indices falling, run into a solid wall of resistance here at last week's zone, 1674/75. On the NQ, last night's alert said to consider being short at or below 87.15. And we put in a swing low at 86.92. Back above the trigger, another swing low, 87.04. On crude oil, pretty wild ride on crude. Last night's alert said to consider being short at or below 61.50, which is way up here. On the first move down, we made it to 61.38, basically $100 per contract traded. And then on this next trigger, the initial candle took us all the way down to 60.70. That's an $800 per contract move. We're now back above the trigger, and crude looks like it wants to trigger and give us a third opportunity. And last but not least, on gold, consider being short below 15.10. We've not traded there. Or consider being long at or above 15.24. That was our long trade of the evening. 15.24 took us up to 15.29. It's a 5-point move, $100 per contract traded, $500. All right, this week on Logic 247. Now, as of noon today, we issued a total of 12 alerts, 12 actionable. Nothing has stopped out, so we've got 0% stopped out, 12 alerts, all finding their price target. And I'll walk you through those. We cranked the machine up Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, week 74. Last week, week 73, we had a total of 14 alerts. One of them stopped out. This week, week 74, we started out Sunday night with the S&P. Thumbs up mean price found the target. The NQ, crude, gold, ES, Dow, Russell, ES, Dow, crude, and gold. So there you have it, around the world in just a few minutes. Now, I know everybody's got big plans for the holidays, so I'm not going to keep you here. I'm going to let you get out and begin your holiday festivities. We will stop.
Hey, John's in the audience.
Okay, all right.
That's probably him.
Go ahead and open
right
up his mic.
Okay. There you go, John.
Hi there. Happy New Year to everybody.
Welcome to the
Happy
show.
New Year.
Thanks. Sorry, I just heard you were going to sign off, so I thought I better get on pretty quick.
Okay, good.
You do. So to say the last few words of 2019. Thanks very much to everybody for listening over the year. Hope you did well. I actually think the market is kind of gonna probably open strongly on the first day. Whether it holds that strength is debatable, but we've kind of come in and put a sort of a double bottom on the market here, with this drop. So, we're we obviously could go either way. I mean, if we suddenly drop straight down on the first of the year, the second of the year rather, you know, that might change everything. But I kind of got a feeling, because Apple is really strong, Nvidia is starting to pull back up, the stocks are heading back up, and this could have been just a little bit of a pause here, you know, going into the end of the year, basically to give the market a kind of a, you know, another potential leg up, at least to test the high and possibly, you know, possibly do even better. Remember, you know, after being up 25% for the year, or, you know, anytime you're up this much for the year, and I think we're up more on the NASDAQ, you usually go up another 10% the following year. So the question is, are we going to see that in the first quarter or in the second quarter? If we don't do it, if we have a dip first, you know, there's a lot of, it's very hard to pick right now, because I mean, I'm not totally sort of like, I'm not too comfortable with the market at the moment in terms of its sort of fragility that exhibited here in the last couple of days. But we've seen the market sort of put in these potential tops before and only to take them out a few days later. And we could be looking at one more or several more shots at something like that. I would say that if we do take out this top we just put in a few days ago, that would be pretty bullish, actually, if that happens. And you know, the other thing is the dollar is going exactly as we thought. It looks like we're going to close the year, you know, with a pretty big sell signal on the dollar. We're down to 96.10. I think I said we had to close below 96.50 to really confirm this quarterly sell signal. And this is about as strong a sell signal as we got on gold, and you know, gold from 1900 and silver from $50. So you know what happened after that. Right. So I think that the likelihood of the dollar going down and possibly gapping down, like I said yesterday, I wouldn't rule that out either. That would be super bearish if we gap down and continue down right from the get-go of 2020. Ultimately, I think that's going to be very good for the economy. It'd be very good for Trump. Be very good for the rest of the world, because you know, the markets around the world have certainly picked up quite markedly in the last month or two, and but the dollar right now weakening in time will. I mean, if we go down 10% on the dollar, the market's going to pretty much go up 10%. It's sort of like a quid pro quo, you know.
No, I agree.
So, you know, if the dollar got devalued overnight by 10%, stocks would theoretically open 10% higher tomorrow or Thursday. It's a useful thing to remember. And, you know, you do have these guys, they've been preaching this like all decade. You know, in the 90s, you had, you know, Robert Prechter, Dale Dudek, Michael Metz, Ross Perot, Joe Granville, RIP, and somebody else. They were the perennial bears of the 90s. Even though we closed higher every year, they kept talking gloom and doom for most of the decade until they finally capitulated going into 2000. In a way, a lot of the gold bulls have been preaching the same, you know, thing for pretty much all the decade. You know, they've been calling for the end of the world, for the market to crash, and for gold to soar. And gold is starting to soar, but the you know, gold and the market have a habit of going up together. I pointed out that the NASDAQ rose from 40% from November 78 through February 1980, and a period when gold went up, nearly 400%. So when gold goes up, it's not necessarily bearish for the market. if you don't believe me, check out the Venezuelan stock exchange. You know, when the Venezuelan currency devalued, the market goes up, and so does the real estate. You know, the hard assets tend to go up, but stocks also tend to go up within reason. I mean, you know, in a situation like Venezuela, there's obviously different factors that could affect it, but I think if we go down 30 or 40 or 50% in dollar value over the next 3-4 years, you know, we could get the roaring 20s of the 20s, of the 2020s, you know, coming into play simply because America becomes more competitive with a weaker dollar. And in a way, the Brits, I mean, you know, look at the statistics coming out of Britain today. They're sort of like carbon copy of the US. You've got the lowest unemployment since 73, 74, 73, I guess, 74. And actually, as I've pointed out before, that is, you know, because I think the number of people looking for work is about the same as what it was in 74. So if you take into account the economy size and the population size, you're actually making all-time record lows in unemployment in the UK. And just the same as the US, there's more people working than ever before in the UK today. And actually the UK, as we've talked on this show, you know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are kind of disappointed that Britain is leaving Europe because of the benefits of that, right? You know, just being able to travel to 27, 28 countries without any problem and live and work without any paperwork or anything like that, that's a big deal. But, and, you know, being able to drive across the ocean or under the ocean through the tunnel or whatever, you know, with ease, no checkpoints or anything is great. Probably a lot of that's going to change. But I think Britain now is because its economic strength and to a lot of extent, I mean, they've gone from a disaster in 1975 from a 3-day week to sort of being like another America in terms of mindset and business, ease of business and just, you know, wealth creation, if you like. An interesting
the world
statistic.
Has benefited from the Trump presidency. Right,
and Britain is like a clone. So it's coming out of Europe in a way that might be the rebirth of the empire, not in a territorial sense, but in a financial sense, where Britain becomes like a bigger deal in the world than it's been for a while, and possibly becomes extremely successful in the future. And believe it or not, little old Ireland has already beaten them to it. Because I just saw a thing a couple of days ago. There's something, I think it came from Swiss Bank, one of those Swiss banks. Mm-hmm. Ireland, believe it or not, the second richest country in the world today per capita.
Really?
Yeah, Luxembourg is the top at 150, and Ireland is around 90,000 per capita. So, you know, kudos to Ireland for that. Another one is out saying they're number 5, but between either of these ones, you know, it's just remarkable. It's extraordinary, and you know, because they're a small country. The three countries that benefited most from joining the EU have been Ireland, Portugal, and Spain. That were 3 of the poorest countries in the world when they joined. And they're now, well, Ireland is now, has gone from certainly the poorest country in Europe to about the richest. That's amazing.
That is
right?
amazing.
Second richest. And so, and by the way, Ireland has only got a population of about 4.25 million altogether in the whole island. It's about 5 million, I think. And by the way, the Northern Ireland GDP is like a quarter of the Irish Republic. Remember I told you a while back, Dwayne, that there used to be a time when you drove from Northern Ireland to Southern Ireland. You kind of knew when you were in the Republic because you could see, you know, the conditions where, you know, and now it's the other way around. Really? But the Ireland has only relatively low population, and they issued about 1 million passports last year, or this year rather, because Brits who have Irish descent obviously want to get Irish citizenship so that they can maintain the benefits of Europe. And Americans and just about anybody else in the world who's got any Irish blood in them is probably doing the same. So that's quite an extraordinary. That's never happened before. You've never had a country issue like a quarter of its population in passports in 1 year.
What's driving that?
The people who want to, like, if you become an Irish citizen, you have the rights to Europe. You can live and work anywhere in Europe, assuming Britain pulls out on the 31st of January. So and if they, we don't know what kind of a deal they're going to get with Europe, but if Britain wants to control its population better and control immigration, they obviously can't have a straight out open deal anymore. They've got a kind of a grandfather thing, whereas if you've been living in the UK and you're French or European, I think you're good forever now, in spite of leaving Europe. But for new people moving in and around different countries, I'm not sure what kind of a deal they're ultimately going to come up with. But it's probably not going to be the same as what it is at the moment. And that's the reason for the demand for Irish passports and French passports as well. I mean, the French Empire is still alive and well. You've got and even the Dutch Empire to a certain extent. You've got and this is the reason why a European passport is a big deal. If you want to go and live in Tahiti, theoretically you have the right to do that as a European citizen, because it's a French country. It's a French
possession.
Exactly. Same with New Caledonia. As a matter of fact, the New Caledonians had the chance to vote for freedom recently, and they decided they wanted to stay in France. So this sort of thing that's been going on in Africa for years, where everybody wants to get out of the British Empire, may be turning, because you've got a lot of the tax havens like the Cayman Islands and other places and the Virgin Islands and all these, they're not going independent. They're sticking with the status quo. Right. So, we just really have to wait and see which way the wind's going to blow going into the next year. I really don't think you can make it a call right now. The gold, they hit the gold stocks a little bit this morning. They opened higher. They're off a little bit right now. Not much of a skirmish. Could be a little bit of a shakeout. I wouldn't be surprised if the gold does, while we're stronger this year, we could be just off and running with the gold next year, or we could have a bit of a pullback and then take off. But I think the dates that I would be paying attention to, if we rally strongly, if we do end up having a strong open and continuation like 2000, where we actually go up in the first quarter, I would be looking at March the 6th to the 9th as a potential top. It was March the 10th in 2000. Why would I say March the 6th to the 9th? Because that's when the bottom was in 2009. And remember, if this is a repeat of 2011, which it could be, I made my call in 2010 that silver would be, when it was $18, I said silver could hit 50 by first quarter of 2011. That would be a little bit, I don't think we're going to do that this time around, but we might get to 30 possibly by then, if there's a real run on the metals. You've got this deal going on in Germany where they're up until maybe the 15th or something, they're allowed to buy 10,000 euros worth of gold without registering.
Right.
There could be a bit of a buying panic going into
We showed a picture the other day of people lined up outside.
right, and I'm not sure if silver is exempt, but that could actually cause a bit of a buying panic to come in. If silver is exempt, that might be a sort of a workaround, and could suddenly create
silver higher. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and by the way, today the platinum is up very dramatically. We're up 22 earlier on. We're up about 18 right now. I said, if you'll remember a while back, I thought we'd come make a run for 1,000. I'd say we're going to be 1,000 probably before the end of the week at the looks of it. And I think we'll be 1,200 within the first quarter on flat, and maybe 1,400 by the second quarter. You know, platinum might be about to do a palladium, you know, this coming year. Because it definitely is acting a lot more bullish than it has in a while, and it's starting to clear, you know, to get further away from the dreaded lows that it's been very, very hard to lift off from in the last few months. Palladium is also just an unbelievable performer after that incredible shakeout I had a few weeks ago, where it dropped down $200. It's back up more than 100. It went down to the low 1800s. I think it's at 1910 right now, up 30 on the day. So it's potentially ready to take another leg upwards. I think coffee is going to be a big winner this year. I think the worst is over on the coffee, and we've certainly seen some very strong upside recently in the coffee, and when it's this strong this point of the year, it's probably forecasting some kind of a frost in Brazil this year or some other kind of an issue, and coffee prices could really go dramatically higher. They haven't been $3 or $4 a pound for a long time, but they've certainly got good reason to be going there, given the amount of coffee that's been sold all over the world every day. That hasn't impacted the price up to now, but could suddenly do that if there's a shortage of some sort. So, as far as gold and silver, I've actually been thinking over the last couple of days as to go on record, and I'm going to be very dramatic, and I'm calling. I think we've got a really good shot at going to 2,400 on the gold and into the 30s on the silver, and I wouldn't rule out 3,000. And the reason why I'm saying, or even 3,300, because the reason I'm saying that is, if we get up north of 2,000, you know, 2,100 or to 24, I think there's going to be an enormous amount of bullishness on gold created from that. And you know, if there's a sort of a Bitcoin lookalike created by then, that could be the kind of thing that could drive gold even higher. And so, and there may be some things that you know, external forces that create that. Don't forget, these major mines are slated to run, you know, to drop production quite markedly over the next 2 or 3 years now. Production could fall by 50%. And this recycling of old computers and trying to get gold out of them may not be as lucrative as it has been. So the sources of gold may not be so available. And just, you know, look, if we get a top in the market, for example, March the 6th to the 10th, and we get a bad sell-off. Remember in 2000, when we were at 10, you know, we had a 10% sell-off in one day. We lost 1,000 points in one day on April the 5th or 6th of 2000. You know, that would be the equivalent of early April in 2020, losing 2,500 points on the Dow. You know, that's the sort of thing that could push gold up very dramatically. So I think you got to think of these things as possibilities in the coming year, and also the election influences. I mean, you got Biden now talking about putting on a Republican candidate, vice president. pandering to the voters and things.
Right.
Who knows? So, and nobody knows the future, and a lot of things could. We're sort of priced for perfection right now in this market, and a lot of things could come undone. So we have to be very vigilant in the coming year. I think that we may see some of the best trading opportunities ever in the next few years.
I agree.
With what's coming up. So hopefully the audience is in good hands with you. And throwing in my 2 cents worth as well.
No, John, we really appreciate you being a part of the show, and look forward to having a great year with you next year.
Thanks very much. We'll do our best to try and keep everybody on the right side of the market in 2020. And thanks very much for listening, and thank you for the hospitality, Dwayne.
Thank you so much, John. Have a happy New Year's Eve, and see you Thursday.
All the best to everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Closing out the year, guys, Nehemiah 8:10. Then he said unto them, Go your way, eat the fat, and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto our Lord. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. This year, this coming year, 2020, we don't know what it holds, but we have great expectations. But this year I want to encourage you, just as that scripture encouraged you, to keep your joy, no matter what happens. Because as long as you have your joy, you can overcome the obstacles you find in your path. When you listen to a great choir sing the Hallelujah chorus, you realize that Handel was inspired by God. He wrote the Messiah in 3 weeks. He said the music literally came to him in a flurry of notes and motives. He wrote feverishly and as if driven by an unseen composer to put pen to paper. Yet he wrote it when his eyesight was failing. He was facing the threat of dying in a debtor's prison because of a mountain of outstanding bills. Most of us find it difficult to create anything under stress, especially when physical or financial problems are at the root of that stress. And yet, Handel did. Many of you this holiday season have enjoyed Handel's Messiah. How did Handel do this? He credits the completion of his masterpiece to one thing: joy. He is quoted as saying that he felt as if he would burst with joy at what he was hearing in his mind and heart. Instead of dying as he thought he would, he lived to see his oratorio become a cherished tradition and a popular work. And he also saw it succeed in raising vast sums of money for the poor and destitute. The Bible says the joy of the Lord is your strength. And one of the first things the enemy will attack is your joy. He knows it's the spiritual and emotional fuel that you run on. Jesus said in John 15:11, These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. Note those words, remain in you. So no matter what happens this coming year, keep your joy. That's our good word for the day. And for the year, have a safe and happy New Year's Eve. Have a great New Year's Day with your friends and family. We'll be back on Thursday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading call, 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed security financial planner to make any investment decision.